23 rounds of the 2023 GB3 Championship. It comes down to the last race of the season. It's Alex Dunn versus Callum Voisin. Only one can be crowned champion. Yeah, a huge title fight between Callum Voisin and Alex Dunn to come. The GB3 Championship once again comes down to the very final day. Lewis McGlade is alongside me. Lewis, talk to me about this reverse grid race, because the points are completely different. You get points for overtaking and things like that. So what's the simplest way you can explain how Callum or Alex can win this championship?
So from Alex's side, the simplest thing that he could do is, if Callum Voisin is outside of the points, if he doesn't score anything, if he retires from the race, he needs to be in 7th place. At that point, he'll be on the same amount of points as Callum, and then on count back, because he's got more wins, he would take the title. For Callum, things are slightly easier. I think he just needs to get himself to about 12th place. Anything from there and up, and he has the title. Yeah,
12th place or higher for Callum Voisin with Roden Carlin, and it doesn't really matter what the high-tech pulsate of Alex Dunn does.
Exactly.
We're going to see a lot of action in this race, Lewis. It's the reverse grid race. It's, for a lot of these guys, the last race they'll do in this championship, whether they're moving on to something else or they're taking a sidestep to maybe sports cars or something like that. So I think everyone's going to be completely leaving it out there. Who's your outsider to win this race? Because it's kind of hard to pick a reverse grid race, but someone's got to win it, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone obviously wants to lean towards Mavlitov, but Mavlitov's starting actually, he qualified 16th, so he's starting kind of in the mid-pack a little bit there. So it's quite hard to go with. I mean, maybe you want to lean towards someone like Ping. Pearson's actually kind of in the right position for it. So I'm going to sit on the fence and not pick anyone. Sorry.
And that's what makes you a two-time Simi Award-winning commentator, sitting on the fence. I think Edward Pearson for Fortec does deserve some success at the end of the year. Now, we're in this title fight because of what happened earlier on, so let's watch as Alex Dunn kept himself in the title fight right into race 24 of the season.
Highlights then for the penultimate race of the GB3 Championship, partnered by the BRDC. We got underway on the race down towards the first corner, once again with Callum Voisin from pole position. It was a great start to his race, and also a great start for Alex Dunn. A bit of a squeeze in the background as Ping was just pushed off, was able to rejoin at the race without any major issues. They would head through the first corner much quicker than they did in the previous day. It was a whole shot taken by Callum Voisin. He'd race his way down the hill behind plenty of side-by-side. James Headley trying to work his way past Mackenzie Cresswell as they would head their way down into the old hairpin. A little bit of a look down the inside after Roseland, a little bit of pressure, shoots it around with a big moment, jumps into a bit of chicane. Slow him down before he got into a bit of contact with Arthur Rojon. At the front of the field, though, it was a big lead being held by Callum Voisin. But a lock-up would open the door for Alex Dunn to come through. On this occasion, it wasn't quite there, but Alex Dunn straight back down the inside going into the final corner with an unbelievable send. It was the 22 trying to fire its way through. A little bit of contact between the pair of them, and Alex Dunn would take the lead of the race. Callum Voisin dropping down into second. Bit of a moment in the background. Meanwhile, we see Ping and Suta Arau going side by side. Arau dropping down outside of the top 10 into 13th position as he was trying to wrestle his way back up the order. This moment saw him go off the road, and then as he rejoined, there was a bit of a slowdown for him, and he would lose the position. Alex Dunn, they would come through the final corner as victor for the first time in Great Britain.
Well, I'm now here with Trevor Carlin from Road in Carlin. You're about to go and watch Callum Voisin with one hand already on the championship, potentially put both hands on that championship in this final race of the year. Obviously been a very good season so far for you guys. What have you been saying to Callum to ease the nerves, because he must be nervous as a young driver?
You know what, he's less nervous than any of us. He's the coolest person in the paddock, I'd say. It's just his nature. He just does what he does, doesn't get flustered. He's super. He's a great sportsman.
It's amazing to see him battling with Alex Dunn with High Tech, and you know, do you have a little bit of a rivalry there as two of the bigger teams just outside of F1 and the good work you do in developing drivers?
Well, we've got great respect for them. They're a really great team, and they're hard to beat. So if we can beat them, I'm really happy. We managed to beat them in F4. If we could beat them in GB3 as well, it'll be a good year. Yeah,
nice clean sweep. And I've got to ask you the obvious question is, how are you going to celebrate if Callum does win this championship?
Well, you know what, I mean, I'd love to just go to the bar and have a load of beers and get battered, but unfortunately I've got to drive home, so I'll probably have one beer with the lads, and then we'll probably go out for a big lunch sometime next week.
Sounds very
great words there from Trevor Carlin. But now obviously we've got to go down to High Tech. We're joined by Phil, team manager here at High Tech. I mean, talk to us about the season that you've had, obviously the superb performance from Alex Dunn so far.
Yeah, he's really, towards the end of the season, he's really come on strong. I mean, his performance at Zandvoort surprised us. It tested really well there, but his race pace was fantastic.
Now, obviously, you know, he took a win here finally in Great Britain. He's not just done it internationally. That's got to be a positive vibe for the team, obviously heading into the last race of the season.
Yeah, I mean, he's really, from the point of view of the championship, he can't really lose second, so he's got nothing to lose. So he's just got to get his head down and go for it. So it should be a really good race.
Even when the backs have been like against the wall, obviously with the gap that Callum Voisin had, obviously he came back strong at Zandvoort. What's the mentality like being inside the team? Like, has it been positive, or has it just been everyone's been quiet and focused?
Yeah, I mean, you never stop working, and the guys, the engineers, the mechanics, everyone in the team, you go back to base and you just never stop. You're always looking for something, and it's nice, the competition between the teams. You know, the guys at Carling, Trevor, and I've worked for Trevor in the past, so we all got on really well. Ricky, I've known him for years, so it's good competition between the teams, so it's nice.
And finally, when you consider like the amount of drivers that you've worked with before in the world of motorsport, where does Alex Dunn kind of like rate in there? You know, how highly, how good is this kid?
I don't think you've seen the best from Alex at all yet. He's still growing. He's still young, and for sure this year he's getting better and better.
Well, to Leicestershire and just about at the Derbyshire border as we head to the 2.5-mile circuit of Donington Park. It was opened back in 1931 and is one of the oldest circuits in Europe. It is the oldest circuit in the United Kingdom still in use. An absolutely fantastic venue, full of history and full of challenging corners. Big overtaking opportunities in the likes of Redgate, McLean's, Coppice, the Foggy ES, Goddard's, etc. And of course, for the brave, down into the old hairpin. The Wheatcroft Straight is the start-finish straight up towards Redgate and then down this enormous hill, 2.5 miles in length, but so much elevation. You get a real good look of it here as we come down the hill, through the Craners, through the old hairpin, and then we begin that climb all the way up through Starkey's Bridge, Swants Curve, up towards McLean's. It is a fantastic circuit for racing and certainly one that will challenge all of our drivers this weekend.
We have the GB3 Championship concluding later on. It's all to fight for. Callum Voisin and Alex Dunn, two great drivers. Very quickly before we go to some highlights of this last race, two great drivers that have shown us what they can do out there. And after Luke Browning and Joel Groundforce were fighting it out in the last race last season, we've come back down to this final race again.
It's incredible, isn't it? We've got an enormous amount of talent in GB3. You know, I think there's more talent in GB3 than I think anything under FIA Formula 3. The cars are great. Actually, at the last weekend at Zandvoort, as we probably all realised, they were about a second quicker than the Formula Regional cars, the Formula Regional European cars. Much more responsive and so close in performance, which is one of the reasons why we've got three different teams at the front, three different drivers, and we're going to the very last race out of 24 races to determine who's going to be our champion. And I'm in no doubt whatsoever that whoever does do that, and you know we know who the top three are who've got a chance. But whoever they are, you know, they are going to do justice to the reputation. They're going to have a very good chance in the Aston Martin Autosport BRDC Award, and ultimately, of course, to move into FIA F3 and do the sort of job that Zach O'Sullivan and Luke Browning have done and are capable of.
Great to hear from Jonathan Palmer. I did interrupt a little impromptu signing session because people do want his autograph because he did used to be an F1 driver. So lots of programs signed by JP himself. Now, for one last time, let's take a quick look at what the drivers see as they go around Donington Park here in the GB3 Championship. We're going to ride on board with the championship leader going into this final race. It's the road in car lane of Callum Voisin.
On board with Callum Voisin then to take a look around the Donington Park circuit. Of course, the Grand Prix layout up towards turn 1 at Redgate, 540 metres out of Goddard's. We reached that first braking zone, being very careful. Got to pull it back over to the right-hand side, but of course in these tricky wet conditions it is a difficult one on the run down the hill, going through Hollywood into the Craner curves. About 700 metres from T1 all the way down into the old hairpin. Incredibly fast, drop down a gear or two in these conditions, certainly two, before you wrestle the car all the way through. Got to watch out for going too wide though. The curve generally will be slippery on the outside. They head up through where Starkey's Bridge used to be, up through the Schwantz curve and then into McLean's. Good overtaking opportunity here for the Brave. You can get it to the inside, but you have to be bold and you have to be committed. Up towards Coppers, a blind right-hander as you go up and over the crest. Watch out, find the apex, let the car kind of wander over to the left-hand side of the circuit before we head out onto Starkey's Straight. About 600 metres before we get into the braking zone at the Fogarty S, and then take a deep breath and fully commit through this one all the way through, using the curve on the left, curve on the right, watching out for those sausage curves as well, not to overdo the car, not to overspin it. As we head down the hill then into the Melbourne hairpin, it is steeper than it looks, but it's kind of almost like a double apex hairpin. You really want to go and find that last one to get a good straight drive down towards the final corner at Goddard's, pull it back over to the right hand side of the circuit before committing into the braking zone. The circuit drops away very quickly, almost blind completely into the corner, as we prepare for another lap, and that is a look around Donington Park on board with Callum Voisin. So it's time for the final race of the season. They're coming round into the final complex, so we'll quickly go through the grid. Patrick Hoytzenrode will start from pole position with Ed Pearson in second place, alongside on that front row with Gerard Shea and Costa Paris. One driver to really keep an eye on in this race. He could be the victorious one. Michael Shim will start from fifth with Noah Ping alongside in that sixth position, has won already in 2023. Daniel Mavlitov, four-time race winner, will start alongside David Morales on row number 4 before we get to the back end of the top 10. Ollie Stewart, Arthur Rojon in that 10th place. Then we get Nico Christodoulou and John Bennett. Obviously, he finished the season with a podium last year. Looking to do the same thing here. Jared Oberski in 13th, Timothy Kuharczyk in 14th place. Before we get down to Joseph Loke, Mackenzie Cresswell in 16th, and then the final few rows of the grid see Max Esterson, James Headley starting from 18th position, 19th is Suta Arau, 20 is Alex Dunn looking for the title. He's got a lot of work to do. Matthew Rees and Callum Voisin starting down in 22nd position. We'll talk through the championship permutations through the race, of course. Basically, Callum Voisin needs to finish in 12th position to take the title, and if he doesn't score any points, Alex Dunn needs to be 7th. Max Maserati, very quick final words before we go to the last race of the season.
This is going to be fantastic to watch. First time I think in some years that it's gone down right to the last race of the season. Lights are on, I think.
Yeah,
they're about to come on. There we go, lights are on.
Hoytsenroder then with the control. Of course, he is alongside Pearson on that front row. And we are racing for the final time in GB3. Gerard Shea with an unbelievable start. He gets down the inside in his hill speed, and it could be hill speed winning the last race of the season for 2 consecutive years. It's Gerard Shea down the inside as we head through Redgate, now racing down towards the Craner curves. But what's happened in the background? At the moment, things seem clean. Callum Voisin's come up a few positions. He's trying to work his way up the order cleanly.
Brilliant start from the hill speed, and look at the gap he's already pulled in only 3 corners. If he someone's massively...
No, it's Bennett.
Thank God, I thought it was the other car in there. I thought that could have been Voisin.
No,
no, somebody else.
Yeah,
more front wing damage from
Noah Ping. Yeah, Noah Ping's the one with the front wing damage. That has gone absolutely skyward as they're trying to work their way down towards McLean's and Coppers. This is exactly kind of what we were expecting a little bit from the crazy race star here. Noah Ping's gone out wide, then is allowing the rest of them to come through a bit more. That is him off the road. That is Ping off the road. You've got Joseph Loke coming through the foreground, but whereabouts is Alex Dunn in all of this? He's actually worked up quite a few positions. I think he's about 15th on the road.
Yeah, I think that. Oh, more cars off. There goes James Headley. He's recovered it. Here comes Voisin. Voisin's in that pack. He's trying to keep it as clean as possible, but cars are off everywhere.
Sorry, this is actually done here. So it's actually done under pressure from Matthew Rees. Callum Voisin being dropped back behind James Headley. All Callum Voisin needs to do is just follow what Alex Dunn is doing as he searches for the 2023 crown. Bit of lockups in the foreground. That's Joseph Loke trying to work his way up the order. Timothy Kuharczyk follows his way through. You got into the pit lane. That'll be Michael Shin. What a crazy first lap in the final race of the season.
Everybody knows, this is the final race. This is their last opportunity, so everyone is just putting everything they can into it. If the car gets damaged, it doesn't need to get repaired again. Yeah, there's no worry of that now, so...
Oh, I think I've just seen Callum Voisin. I believe he is actually now ahead of Alex Dunn on the road. So really looking to seal this championship off, as nicely as he can. Gerard Shea, though, leads by 1.7 seconds. You've got Pearson behind Hoytsenroder in that battle for second place. Then Taparis, then Christodoulou. There is Taparis going out wide. I think he might have a problem because he's losing out a time over fist. I think he's got a puncture.
Yeah, he's slowing up massively. This is gonna... Thing is, these kind of things help Dunn. They also actually help Voisin, so it ends up equaling out at the minute. Side by side into the chicane.
Yeah,
3 wide behind.
That's Hoytsenroder under pressure. It's going to be 4 wide though after Rochon. Joseph Loke sending it through. Joseph Loke with a mega send. Oh my goodness me. We cut away to see the battle for second position as Hoytsenroder is feeling the pressure. Ed Pearson to the outside. And look at all this behind. Waberski with the yellow highlights. You've got Timothy Kuharczyk in that blue car coming straight down the inside with a bit of a lockup. This is absolutely crazy.
He did well to avoid that there. Now they've got to hide it behind. Again, the battle for second still continuing.
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah, like you say, it's still side by side in those positions. You've got Tomek Kuharczyk, who's now having to fend off the high-tech Pulsate car that's directly behind him. Like I say, it's been up and down the order. It's done in there. You've got Rees behind, then Headley, then Voisin. It's been all over the place with that grouping. And once again, Hoytsenroder is doing an unbelievable job at hanging on to second place. Really having to get his elbows out. We're having a chat with his dad earlier on in the week. Seems like a really great family, like a really positive vibe with them in the position of motorsport. And Hoytsenroder is trying to defend and straight around the outside of the old hairpin, and it is Hoytsenroder hanging on in that number 14 black and yellow car. But look who's coming through. It's Christodoulou in that charcoal grey Arden VRD.
Brilliant racing again, showing what happens when you lose a bit of momentum. Sent it straight back up. Very brave there, but just couldn't get it done.
No, certainly not. Well, they head through McLean's, they head through Coppice. Then you can see in the background, there in the red highlighted car, the 35, Callum Voisin, Rodin Carlin, on the cusp of being champions in GB3. You can see they've got double waved yellows coming out here. There is no safety car, just a double waved yellows as they're trying to, the marshals are trying to recover a vehicle on the exit of Coppice. That's Kuharczyk. I think Kuharczyk's lost his front wing and all that as well, the blue car that went straight over.
Looked at it, something seemed to detach from the car. A send from Loke onto the other JHR car, and there goes Dunn up the inside. Oh, that was very, very close, but he's still got the exit now alongside Esterson. Going to tuck back in, try and find a way around him into the hairpin. Will he do the same as what he did before with Voisin? Can't quite see it. Don't think so. I think he tucked back in. Yeah.
He's got to send it. I tell you, someone who's sending it up the order. I still not managed to get past his teammate, but Joseph Loke. Oh my goodness, that was close on the front of Mackenzie Cresswell. Straight back down the inside, the 2 JHR developments car. The 84. That is Joseph Loke. Out wide, that driver is Morales. The safety car has just been called, though, ladies and gents. So things will start to take a bit of a breather. But that was incredibly close. Mackenzie Cresswell nearly came through on Joseph Loke, but Loke has come through into 7th position. That is an excellent start from him.
Yes, and fastest lap so far by Gerard in the hill speed, proving the speed of that car. Whereas Voisin and Dunn are still so close together. This hasn't really helped Dunn. He wants as many laps as possible to try and make up these places. Oh, there's Timmick. He actually made it to the wall. That's why the safety car was deployed.
Yeah, you can see he's out of the car. He's the one jumping over the wall there. Such a shame. We know he's got a huge fan base. I'm sure you'll all be in the YouTube chat saying about the season that Timmick Kuharczyk's actually had. He started out the season in great form. Kind of dropped off a little bit towards the end, whether that's car, whether that's driver. We don't really know, but unfortunately things haven't gone quite the way in 2023 as we were expecting, considering that very fast start. He's a talented kid, and I'm sure he's got a big future in the world of motorsport, but that is not how you wanted to end your season.
No, and really importantly, Voisin is now into 12th place, which I think is really what he needs to do to score the points to cement it. And Dunn is only 1 place in front of him, so the 2 title contenders here are right alongside each other when this race eventually restarts.
Voisin is in the position he needs to be in, right? And I mean that in the sense of if he continues to run in 12th place, it doesn't matter what Dunn does. If he runs up to the race lead, overtaking all those drivers ahead, gets past Gerard Shea and takes the race victory, if Callum Voisin is 12th, he is still the champion. He is exactly where he needs to be. Can we give a bit of a shout out to Joseph Loke, by the way? Started this race in 15th spot on a circuit which they say is quite hard to overtake at. Don't worry about it, I'll get up to 6th. He did tell me earlier he will try and get a podium. I won't tell you what the bet was, but he's trying to make it a bet with me. I'm just going to say it on broadcast. I'm not sticking to it. It was to do with a haircut. That's
quite tame for racing drivers.
To be fair, I know. I don't want to hear what was happening. I heard there was a tattoo that was.
If Harry gets a podium in the next GB4 race, his #1 mechanic has to get a tattoo.
Oh goodness me! Well, let's take a look at the replay then. So straight over the curb, and you can kind of see. So I'm assuming, from that angle, I'm assuming the front wing went under the wheel and then he just couldn't steer. That's what it looked like to me.
That, and also the amount of speed you're carrying through that chicane, when it does go wrong like that, if it doesn't correct quickly, you can become a passenger. But certainly that's what it looked like. The front wing went underneath the front wheels, and then it's just, you haven't got any steering then, you're just sailing.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, this race is longer than the normal races that we do in GB3. They're normally 20 minutes and 14 laps. This one is 25 minutes or 17. I say it every single time, and I'm going to say it again. Normally, when we have a safety car intervention, even in a race like this, it normally means that the race will end on the timed side of things, which is currently running. It's at 17 minutes and 10 seconds at the moment. I believe if we go racing this lap, we still have the time to do all 17. Past that point, questions are going to be asked when it comes to whether we're going to get all 17 or whether we might have a 16-lap race in all of this. But that's a problem for next lap, really. And we're definitely not going racing here because there's a Kuharczyk's car still there.
Exactly, yeah. Until that gets moved, looks fairly buried in. They're going to have to actually put the wall back as well.
Yeah.
So it could be 1 or 2 more laps. Again, this will be so frustrating for Alex Dunn. This is so painful. He can see what he needs to do to get to the championship, and although he's made that progress, Voisin has as well through collisions and also Voisin's own natural skill to get through the pack.
Yeah.
For Voisin, on the other hand, he'll be thinking, I don't mind if this safety car goes right to the end of the race.
No, exactly. Well, the fastest vehicle around Donington Park this weekend has been dispatched to get over to Kiharchik. One of those green zoom booms straight over there. It's absolutely firing. That thing is I'd say it's rapid. Obviously, it's not. The thing weighs an enormous amount of money, but they enormous amount of weight rather. And but they do, like, it's straight there, ready to get that car out of the way, hoping that we get back under racing. Like I say, there's quite a bit that needs to be done over there. Obviously, we are going to get a bit of racing left to go. I was having a chat with Alex Dunn, but just before, about an hour ago, just before this race. And to be fair, he kind of seemed. I mean, look, he's not an idiot. Yeah, he's kind of sat there, understands that. Let's be honest, the championship, he needs an unbelievable amount of luck, and just constant good fortune, which doesn't come by often in the world of motorsport.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really, he needed Voisin to hopefully get collected in one of those carnage collisions that was taking place on the first lap, and then he could go, okay, I have a real chance of this. I mean, he'd still be out of actually the contention at the minute, even if Voisin was to suddenly DNF through a mechanical fault, which, these cars are so reliable, that won't happen. No. Or
well, now you've said it. I mean, again, the commentator's curse. If anything does happen, Road and Carlin are going to be storming up to this comms box, and I'll tell them that it was me. It was you, and you've already run off. I don't believe in the commentator's curse, so I can put all.
Oh well, don't say that. That's.
It doesn't make it worse. It doesn't. I refuse to accept the idea that actually makes it any worse. I'm the problem. Let's put it that way. We'll take a look at a couple of these replays and such as well. So this is of the race start. You can see great start from Christodoulou straight over to the other side of the road. But then what a start from Gerard Shea.
Amazing. And the courage he had as well to stick it right on the white line there and just go, no, I'm coming through. I'm not going to lift. This is my corner and my position. And then it's the way he gained after that as well. I mean, look at the lead he had coming down the Craners and then into Old Hairpin. Yeah. Look at that, just gone. He was like, this is my race, I'm winning this.
Absolutely. I mean, again, very impressive. This is where, like, some of the things unfolded. That was obviously John Bennett straight off the road, and there's Kiharchik's car getting back out of the way. So the marshals are now investigating the structural integrity of the wall, because it's not as simple as move car out of way, get race going again. You've got to make sure that the circuit itself is safe to race at. It's obviously, I mean, you'll all know this as motorsport fans. If you are new to the world of motorsport, for one, welcome. You are in for quite a ride, especially if you follow most of these drivers, because they are on quite the journey. You'll see them popping up, whether it's in Formula One, whether it's in sports car racing, GTs, etc. You'll see them all over the place. Safety is paramount in the world of motorsport, and sometimes, we have to have an extra lap or two under the safety car whilst they get things right into place as safe as they possibly can be.
Yeah, exactly. Luckily with those barriers, though, it's not like it wouldn't take like a couple hours to do it. It is a very easy fix. It's the beauty of them. They can take a big impact, but then as well to actually replace them and restructure them, I think we should be getting going by the end of this lap. Yeah,
it's not like the metal Armco barriers that you have like at Le Mans, and they're like, oh cool, so you've got a red flag for 2 hours whilst they're repairing that. So great, that's super uninteresting to watch. Thoughts for Kiharchik there? Obviously, he's going to be devastated at the moment, isn't he?
He is. That's not how you want to end the season, but he has to look back on this season with a bit of pride. He's had a fantastic year. He's shown immense pace, and I really hope he can get a budget together and hopefully race next year again. Yeah,
we'll keep our fingers crossed, because he's definitely a driver to keep an eye on. Oh, yeah, I did see Loke's got a lot of grass in his... we both spotted that at exactly the same time. There is a lot of grass in Loke's car. Particularly, it's on the left-hand side as we're looking at, but obviously the right-hand side. That side pod is packed.
And then the other car behind him is the other way around.
Yeah,
all the grass on the right side and not on the left.
Yeah, obviously, as we're looking...
Facing us,
yeah. I never really understand which side I should probably say, but... both. I'm going to update you on the championship, even though we all kind of know at this point it would be Voisin winning, but just so you know, if things finished as we're presently running, it will be 484 points to Callum Voisin. Alex Dunn would have 462, so by 22 points, Callum Voisin would win the championship, but I'm sure we'll be getting back racing very, very shortly. for what will be a timed end to the season. We've got 11 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. With the speed they run, 1 minute 20 odd lap times around here. So we'd be looking at around about 9 or so laps. Actually, we might get the 17. Who knows? I can do maths. It would be, I think it would be 8. It would be 8 once we got back round. So I think we'll go down to 16. Really. But
I'll take your word for it.
I do always say never trust a commentator's math. That's why, as you've seen, I've got a spreadsheet which does the championship points, because I'm not trusting myself on that one. Sorry. I've got a lovely sheet here from Richard Randall which tells all the points and all the positions and how they'd finished and all that kind of stuff, so you can really work things out. And I took one look at it, I was like, that is excellent, but also even I'm too stupid to use that. So we'll back it off to the spreadsheet, shall we? Well, so the recovery vehicle is making its way back round. Normally, when the safety car lights go out, it is typically on this stretch, on the Starkey Straight, and that is exactly what's happened. Gerard Shea with Patrick Hoytzenroder behind. I think his fears really got to come from the likes of Loke, of even like Cresswell, of that lot behind that we're looking for the win.
Well, I'd say yes, but his pace and that hill speed has been unbelievable in this race so far. You know, it's not like he hasn't had fastest lap and running away with it. He's got fastest lap and he's just checked out in that early start. I think he's backed everyone up to allow himself to go early, which gives you the highest chance of catching people out. And if he does get away again, I think he'll be very, very hard to catch. I mean, yes, Loke does have a really good... Oh, look at Dunn's radiators as well. Yeah. Where's this grass come from? Must be from other cars throwing it up, because I haven't seen these guys go off.
Oh, it's so hard not to make a joke about generally from the side of the circuit, but no, that's fine. Sorry, just being me. Of course, hill speed looking, as I said before, looking to end the season with a victory, as they did last year, obviously in the hand of Nick Gilkes. That final race of the season, Gilkes took the victory. Now Gerard Shea has gone. He's taken off. Obviously, he's got Patrick Hoytzenroder, effectively still a debutant in the championship. He made his debut just a week ago in Zandvoort, who's looking to try and do something almost unheard of and go for a race victory. Nico Christodoulou wants one, Pearson wants one, Stewart wants one, as does everyone else on the grid. They're all diving over the place, and that's a defensive move being made by the 84 of Joseph Loke to try and keep Mackenzie Cresswell. That was an excellently executed restart from Gerard Shea.
It is, and unfortunately for Dunn, he hasn't really managed to have a good enough restart to be challenging anyone. That would have been a really good opportunity to be able to do so.
Well, here we go then. Obviously this fight, still Mackenzie Cresswell, who we know has got great form in the second half of the season. He's got his teammate Ollie Stewart on the other side of this battle. There's a look to the inside. James Headley's trying to work his way through. Is it James Headley?
No, that's
Nick Christodoulou.
Yeah.
I can read. Again, we discussed in the previous race. Yes, it's Christodoulou trying to work his way past Hoytzenroder in the battle for second.
So, and look how some cars are now trying to, they're risking, they think it's dried out enough to actually start using the entry curbs. Voicing there into Coppice was really using it to get the car turned in, while the others are still a bit tedious about doing that.
Surely this will be Pearson making his way through on Christodoulou, because he really smothered the curb going through the chicane. But it's actually Christodoulou sending one straight down the inside of Hoytzenroder. That's a bit too deep, and straight on the up and under. The number 41, Ed Pearson, fires his way through. Out wide goes Christodoulou. That was a mega move and well read from Ed Pearson.
Exactly, it was almost like a bit of he knew Pearson was coming, so he went for that almost like a desperate lunge into the hairpin, but he just couldn't get it stopped. I mean, it was a good effort, but then he was run wide, and now he has radiators filled with grass.
Yeah, exactly. That's where they're all picking it up by just dipping two wheels into the grass. Joseph Loke trying to get around the outside and trying to hold his position, and he's gone out wide. He's not going to have grass in there. He's going to have gravel as well. He rejoins the road. He's going for a spin. Joseph Loke's end to the season. Oh, it's such a shame. He has had such an unbelievable run in 2023, and he was looking for a solid final race, but sometimes he just pushed a little bit too hard. An intense fight there with Mackenzie Cresswell, and he's come off the worst. And I don't know if he can get going again.
Yeah, he's just rolling it back. Outside just doesn't work, especially in a corner like that when you haven't got your front wheels ahead. Someone's always going to run you out wide there. Oh, that's brave up the inside. Wow. Oh, he's done it.
Max
That's a Formula 4 dive, that is.
Yeah, Max Esterson has a bit of experience over that way. But obviously he's now got to deal with the charge of, guess who? It is Alex Dunn. Knock, knock, he's on the scene. Oh, and Joseph Loke is in the worst place he possibly could be. That's Callum Boyden as well, who's involved in that. And he might lose a position in all this. It's not massively dramatic for the championship. He just needs to stay out of trouble, as I think even he's well aware of that. But the safety car has been deployed again, courtesy of Joseph Loke's position.
He's slowed.
I think
it's the safety car, boy. You've seen the safety car.
Yeah, exactly. So the safety car comes out. Now, this one I do suspect they should be able to get in because it's just where Joseph Loke's car is, unless something happened out of our vision. But Joseph Loke's car, maybe he's like rejoined the circuit and it's still not going anywhere. I don't know. It's not one, but it's very possible.
Yes, potentially. I think G, he's done such a good job getting to where he is and holding these restarts and doing it again, and now he has to do that for another time, making sure he nails a restart. Because I think, as you say, we will get going again, and there is a pack of extremely hungry drivers, as we've just seen, all trying to go for this win.
I mean, Callum Voisin was really taking a lot of risk in there, wasn't he? He was obviously trying to evolve. Meanwhile, Alex Dunn was taking a lot of risk, and that was understandable that he was taking that level of risk.
Yeah, he's got to. You got to try and do what you can for the championship. I think Callum's just got to stay out of it. He's in position. Problem is, like when you look directly behind him, it's not like it's people who've struggled against Callum this year. It's Matthew Rees.
Yeah.
Like Rees will be trying to send it to make up these places as well. So he hasn't got an easy job behind him, putting like no pressure on where he can just sit there.
But now, Alex Dunn finds himself in a very important position as well, because whilst we were saying about the position that Callum Voisin needs to get to is 12th, and then it's no matter what Alex Dunn does, then he'll take the championship. Alex Dunn is in 9th place. Now, should the unthinkable happen to Callum Voisin, should something happen when the race gets restarted, this is why he needs to stay out of trouble, by the way, he would drop down out of the points. If he is to drop down out of the points and not score a single point even for positions gained, which I think that's kind of like the one where I think he still would, but that's a Richard Randall question, and I'm not even going to start to think about that one. If that happens and Callum Voisin gets no points from this race, Alex Dunn would have 470 points, which is exactly how many that Callum Voisin has coming into this, meaning that Alex Dunn would win the championship on comeback. That is the position he is presently in. 9th place gets him to 470. He's had 5 wins. Callum Voisin has only had 2 this year. So obviously that needs a lot of drama and a lot of luck, but still, it's worth mentioning.
It's possible. It's very possible. We've seen how aggressive everyone is being currently, and Alex has just got to keep doing what he's doing to keep this title battle alive, keep it going lap by lap, rather than race by race now.
Yeah.
And Callum's just got to try and sit there, got to try and hold 12th place. He can't still drop back to 13th, because as soon as he was to drop out of the points and fall back further, if he loses momentum, then that could put Dunn in that position anyway.
Just in case, yeah, exactly. He still needs to, the worst thing he can do is get complacent here, but this is the serious scenario where he is sat there being like, the safety car just stay out for a little bit longer. Can it stay out for a little bit longer? Obviously, we don't want to end the race under safety car. Callum Voisin almost certainly does. I'm trying to remember if last year the race ended under safety car. I'm pretty sure it was under safety car in GB4 when Nick Taylor went, I think it was in the second race.
Yeah.
That one ended under safety car because I remember him calling him across the line. Sorry to bring up those terrible memories. I feel really bad every time I talk about it with you.
Yeah, it's okay. I see them every night.
Oh dear. Well, there's 310 seconds left to go. With that, should the safety car come in this lap, we'll have 2 more laps of racing around Donington Park for the final one of the season. And to be honest, I don't see anyone beating Gerard Shea here. He's been so good.
No, he's been absolutely fantastic. As I say, showing what that hill speed car can really do, in terms of pace. We've had flashes of that from Gerard, actually, if you remember back at Spa.
Yeah,
he was extremely good there. So when it clicks, it clicks, it works, and he's got the car underneath him to really get this win.
There is Joseph Loke, dejected, sad, out of the car. Obviously, focus for him then will already be on 2024. The thing is, he's such a young driver. One of the youngest on the field, that he's got such a future rather in front of him, and such something to aim for. I mean, we were he was showing us some photographs earlier of when he was racing in Fiestas in 2019. Very different driver now than he was then. Let's put it that way. And he's shown himself as a real strong contender in open wheel competition.
Yeah, he really has, and this has been such a good year for him. I can't say I've watched this entire career, but I would say this is probably one of his best, if not his best season.
Yeah.
Having taken this title fight right to the last day, I know he's not going to get the result that he wanted. I know tonight's going to be one of probably his worst ever nights, on the back of what could have potentially been his best ever day. but he can pick himself up again and be proud that he has shown that he's got the pace to fight for these championships going into the future. And this was only his first year.
Exactly.
As well, because he was a first-year driver.
Exactly, and I think the aim for him is to potentially, obviously, who knows, but I would suggest he might be looking at taking part in GB3 once again, kind of doing what Callum Voisin did, who is poised to be the champion, by the way, with the lap time left to go. We will be ending this race under safety car, which is a bit of a disappointing end to the championship, but it does mean that driver in his second year, obviously fourth last year, should come
Just missed out on third, didn't he, last year?
He did. I mean,
made it right now, though.
That's kind of thing. Is like if you're a driver finishing in third, fourth, fifth in the championship, you're kind of looking at this being like, yeah, if I take part again next year, then surely I've got to do a Callum Voisin. I've got to go and contend for the championship.
Yes, but there's also a lot of pressure because you don't want to then do worse than you did the previous year, especially when you're that high up. And I think he's dealt with that brilliantly. He's worked on what he struggled with last year, which was consistency, bringing it around those big points every single round. Even though I think he had more wins last year. Now he's come into this, but he's just delivered, and he's got the poles when he needed to. He's got the points when he needed to. He's done that whole team have done a fantastic job. I know Phil Glue, who I think looks after him, edge management, with Roden, Carlin, with Callum, that package all coming together has delivered this fantastic season, which has enabled him to now win the title. He's done so well, and this lap will be just soaking it in. Soak it in. You've won the GB3 Championship. You can just enjoy this lap under safety car with no threat.
Yeah, absolutely. Who knows where he's going to end up over the next few years. Like you say, it's his 11 poles he had, despite 11 poles in his GB3 career, including last year, despite not actually having that many wins. He's only had 5 wins. He had 3 last year and 2 this year. But he's put himself in the right place. He's driven like such a mature driver. Me and Piers spoken about this so many times. He's just kept himself out of trouble. He's done everything he needed to do. Shout out to Alex Dunn as well. But with just a couple of corners left to go, Gerard Shea will bring Hillspeed out of the final corner into a victory. Of course, they've had plenty in the hands of Mavliatov, but it is Gerard Shea here. We have to look back, though. We have to wait for the number 35 as Shea takes victory in the final one. But keep an eye on that blue and red Carlin behind, because after an unbelievable season, after an extreme title fight, Callum Voisin is your GB3 champion. He's won it in 2023. He came back for his second season and showed exactly what he is about. This kid is on a big journey. Keep an eye on him.
Amazing. Like, look at that. I mean, you can kind of see the smile behind the visor and the helmet, can't you? The beam of look how happy he is, just throwing the car around. This will probably be the last time he really gets to drive this car now. And he can just enjoy that he's in this championship-winning car. Best feeling in the world, this right now.
Yeah, and I've spoken to a lot of drivers that race up and down the order when it comes to feeder series and stuff. Whether it's in FIA, F3, F2, GB4, obviously GB3, and all that. So many drivers tell me that this is one of the best cars that they've driven, because it's so fast, it's so fun, and when you've got it hooked up and you're racing it in the way that Callum Voisin has done this season, it just gels. He has been such a character to keep an eye on over the last couple of years, and if anything, I'm a little bit sad to see him go, but he's on to better places now, and Callum Voisin's an unbelievable driver. Gerard Shea, though, we'll focus on him for a little bit. We'll not steal his moment, although Callum Voisin's given it a damn good go. What a drive. I know there's been safety cars involved in this race, but I mean, he's got the fastest lap. He pulled the gap out when he needed to, and has honestly controlled it from that race start after a great race start from the grid. We'll take a look at the provisional standings, of course, in the race. Gerard Shea taking the victory, Ed Pearson, Patrick Hoytzenroder in third position, with Nico Christodoulou and Ollie Stewart in fifth place. Mackenzie Cresswell, Waberski, Esterson, Dunn and Morales inside the top 10 before we see the next few. Headley, our new champion Callum Voisin in 12th position, with Rees, Rojon, Suter Arau, Ping, Shin, Bennett, Mavliatov and of course Loke retiring from the race. Big shame for Loke in that one. Of course, Kuharczyk also down the road courtesy of his retirement, as was Costa to Paris. What a season though. Max, I know you're about to jump ship to go and sort out your drivers, making sure they're ready for the last race of the season in GB4, but it's been a positive season, it's been a great season, and we always love a bit of GB3.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's one of the if not, I think it is the best single-seater car. You know, there's no DRS with these cars or push to pass or anything like that. It's pure. This is pure racing that these boys have to do. Every overtake is legitimate. There's no push of a button to help them aid to do it. We see these reverse grid races where we have fantastic races. We have a championship that's gone right down to the wire. I just want to thank the audience for tuning in all year and watching and listening to you peers, me occasionally. But it's easy to commentate when the racing's this good.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's been such a privilege to be a part of the GB3 Championship for the last couple of years. To be able to talk about these young drivers, of which genuinely, this is the pathway into Formula One. And these drivers, maybe you won't see all of them get into Formula One. Maybe you won't see many of them get into Formula One. Maybe one or two. Maybe none of them will. But you will see them in the world of motorsport, and that to me is such an exciting prospect to think that in 10 years' time you'll look back on an entry list from this and think, oh my God, can you believe they raced in this? Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just look at what the previous winners have done. O'Sullivan, I think, just wrapped up top 3 in the championship in FIO3, and Browning's had a fantastic debut year. Hopefully, I think can get a second year there where he can do what O'Sullivan's done, maybe even get the title there. Certainly has the pace, and it's from learning in these amazing series of GB3 and GB4.
Even the likes of George Russell. Obviously, they take over obviously British F3 and stuff. Gerard Shea then into the arms, the waiting arms of the Hill Speed team. It's like I say, unbelievable performance. I mean, does that feel good to you, like seeing that your old team in celebration?
Oh, it feels amazing. They deserve it. They work so hard, and they've had 6 wins, haven't they, this year now? 5 wins. So, as I say, it shows the pace is there in the car to win, to be at the front, and when it matters, the boys have delivered in that team to get these wins.
Yeah, big moment as well for Ed Pearson to have worked his way up into second place. Like I say, he obviously started from second, but still was able to put himself in the best position in that one. You'll see Gerard Shea, and of course, Johns will go and catch a word with him in a few moments. You can see marching through, by the way. Keep an eye on that man right there, Callum Voisin. He will be straight out to the Carlin team. Got to keep an eye on that one. What a beautiful moment.
Yeah, this is. I mean, look at that. Just complete relief, elation, euphoria, whatever word you want to use to describe, this moment. A hug there. I'm not sure exactly who it is he's with there, but I think there's his brother. That he's, this means so much to the drivers. There's I think one of his coach, Tom Gamble, all coming to congratulate him, on his well-deserved victory.
It's been a sensational season from Callum Voisin. He's just pieced together the perfect campaign. The only thing that was missing in it really was a lot of wins. It took him all the way until Brands Hatch to take a victory. But you can see Trevor Carlin there working his way through. Obviously, he's been on the pit wall shaking his fist, saying fantastic job for his driver. And I'm sure he'll be straight over to Callum Voisin as well to catch a word with him. And I'm sure we will in due course as well. Gerard Shea, again, he needs to have his moment in the sun.
Shea, just a quick one, Gerard. Congratulations. It was a great start from you, and that really set you up with the safety cars.
Yeah, obviously we got a good start off the line and overtake them too, and just manage the race really. Just try to keep pulling away, and that's it.
It's a great way to end the first season in GB3 for you. Have you enjoyed the season?
Yeah, it's a good learning season. We have ups and downs. Yeah.
Okay, well look, Hillspeed have done really well, giving you a great car, and I'm sure you're very pleased with that. And it's been great having you, and we'll let you go and get your trophy, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Gerard. Let's speak with Edward Pearson, who we heard from yesterday. He had a kind of a disappointing time so far. Hey, look, we spoke yesterday. It was a little bit of a disappointing time, and look what happened. You got a podium, second place.
Yeah, but I'm still disappointed because I didn't win, obviously. But
I've always made the mistake of asking drivers if they're happy when they come second, and they go no because I want to come first.
Well, no, I mean it's learning, isn't it? I mean this my whole year. This is what it's all about. So, yeah, I mean I made that move for second, didn't make it stick. Should have. Yeah, didn't make it stick, and yeah, I'm killing myself for it, but it's just one of those things I'm never going to do again. So yeah, I'll make sure I never do that again.
Well, it's been great watching you drive this season, and whatever you do next year, whether you're staying with GB3 or whatever you're doing, it's going to be interesting to see what you do next.
Thank you very much. See you next year.
Oh, well, you'll see me next year then. Edward Pearson with Fortec, from confirming here with the next year. Pat Hoytson-Roeder, lots of people watching back home. They must be up really early, or they've got up in the middle of the night. So first of all, I want you to say hello to people back home, because I spoke to your dad, and I know that you've been sort of managing him and your mum coming over and being with you while you sort of do your racing career over here. It's a long way from home, so say something to them.
G'day everyone. Thanks for staying up or getting up if that's it, but I know the time zones are tricky, but thanks for the support.
Only your second race weekend in GB3, and getting a podium in the reverse grid races, great progress for you. And if you do GB3 next year, that'll be a huge thing for you in terms of confidence coming into it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a springboard. Obviously, just learning the car over these past 2 weekends, so I think to get anything I could from these 2 weekends is good. It's just seat time for me at this moment, and we'll see what happens next year, whether we do GB3 or something else, but it's good nevertheless.
Well, either way, these 6 races have been great. We'll let you go and get your trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, right, let's go to the podium. Lewis McGlade will talk you through, and then we will speak to the new champion, Callum Voisin.
Certainly so. Cheers, Jonas. Yes, again, unbelievable scenes there from the grid. Lovely to see them all down there, as we'll take a look at highlights from the race. So Gerard Shea with a great start down the inside, looking for the race lead as he would charge his way through after a brilliant start. But of course, you've got the likes of Pearson straight down the inside, all of them trying to fight over second position as they were funneling their way through. Mavliatov out wide. There was drama already before we got down into the old hairpin, as John Bennett was the driver that would go out wide. But of course, there was almost contact quite a few times coming down here. You'll see in the background there was already contact, I think even with Kuharczyk, as John Bennett would go through the gravel trap and unfortunately would drive way down the order. A bit of a disappointing end of the season. Watch Kuharczyk here. Takes a lot of curb on the first one, a lot of curb, but can lose his front wing and straight out into the barrier. That would cause a safety car. Once we got back, Gerard Shea was the one in control. He would leave the final corner and would pull away from the drivers behind. Patrick Hoytson-Roeder was the one under pressure though, as there was that big set from Nico Christodoulou. Ed Pearson read it brilliantly though, came through into second, squeezing out Nico Christodoulou a little bit, but Christodoulou trying to just hang around the outside. Joseph Loke though, and this was the moment that basically ended the race, out wide and then went for a spin on the grass, was unable to really get back going position, would retire from the race. It would end on a safety car with Gerard Shea the victor, ahead of course of Pearson, of Hoytson-Roeder, and of course of our 12th place, but our new champion, Callum Voisin for Rodin Carlin. An unbelievable performance through the 2023 season, sees that number 35 taken to the top step in the championship. He's pieced it together brilliantly, as we can see. Our drivers onto the podium, of course Gerard Shea in there, Ed Pearson, as well as Patrick Hoytson-Roeder, who's done a brilliant performance, to be perfectly honest, in just 2 races to grab a podium. Yes, reverse grid, but it is what it is. Those were handed out, of course, the trophies, they've just picked them up, but now we see those, the Sunoco fastest lap of the weekend. Alex Dunn was the driver who took that one, of course, him receiving that. I'm sure he'll still be somewhat disappointed, but still at least taking something from this race, and the joys of finishing in second position in the championship, again showing how unbelievably fast he has been through the season. Just to piece together such a great championship challenge. Unfortunately, really it came down to that issue in Brands Hatch, where he was retired, where he sent off in the race and unfortunately retired from it. It kind of put him onto the back foot, where he had to respond in Zandvoort, and certainly did. To be perfectly honest, he did everything he possibly could as he was trying to march his way back into championship contention. Almost got there, but sadly not quite. As we'll see, the next load to come onto the podium will be the championship order in, obviously from where they finished in the title race, which obviously would include our champion himself, Callum Voisin, but not before we get Joseph Loke, who might be, but if actually, I hadn't thought about this for a second. If we were going to do this, is Joseph Loke still out by Redgate? Because obviously he pulled out of the road and pulled over to the side of the road, so he's probably miles away right now as he's trying to work his way back over, which isn't exactly ideal. But of course, I'm sure he's still healthy for a bit of a jog over. There is Callum Voisin, looking, to be honest, as calm as ever. You wouldn't think he's just won a championship. You've got, obviously driver coach there. You've got Tom Wallace. You can just see one of the engineers for the Rodin Carlin team. I know he's well loved within the community, along with the Rodin Carlin squad. And it's been a difficult season for Rodin Carlin. At points, they've kind of been sat there thinking, what's happening here? And he has just delivered time and time again. Callum Voisin going up to the top step of the podium for receiving, we'll actually do the Jack Cavill pole position cup first, as he'll grab that one, courtesy being handed by John Cavill. A fantastic thing for him to have taken throughout the season. Of course, the David Paul Warren pole position cup, which is for the team, for the driver with the most poles, which will obviously be the Rodin Carlin squad. Will grab their trophy from that one as well. So a big congratulations to them, as they will grab that one. Jill Biffer will be the one to hand over that trophy. So that is the trophy for the team, with the driver that had the most poles, which was obviously Callum Voisin. So shout out to them. Again, a brilliant performance from them throughout the year. 6 pole positions for Callum Voisin in 2023. We'll wait, I think, for Joseph Loke to work his way back around before we do the top 3 in the championship, and then we can really see exactly how things have pieced together. I might even do the teams championship before we get to that one. Again, brilliant performance. I think we have found ourselves a Joseph Loke. We certainly have, who will go into 3rd position for JHR development. So again, a brilliant performance from him to have worked himself into 3rd position in the title race. But of course, Alex Dunn will take 2nd place and will grab the trophy from it. Very worthy indeed. And of course, we'll have the champion. I'm going to let this one breathe a sec. Great performance from Callum Voisin throughout the year. I'm sure it'll be an emotional moment as the trophies will be handed out, of course, after such an unbelievable performance. Jonathan Palmer will be the man to hand out the podiums. 3rd place there for Joseph Loke. And then a much larger trophy for 2nd place for Alex Dunn. And yes, they do make trophies bigger than that, because that's exactly what Callum Voisin is about to take. Look at the size of that one. Whew. That is a big trophy, along with the FIA Formula 3 test, which you can see there on the again the big novelty check. But again, it's a championship. When you win this title, you're on such an unbelievable pathway, and to have that ability to go and do an FIA Formula 3 test and work your way through, again, a great position to be in. Obviously, following the footsteps of the likes of Zach O'Sullivan, the likes of course, Luke Browning from last year. It's even finishing 2nd or 3rd position in this kind of championship, you're putting yourself in a great position to move forward in the world of motorsport. And we're not sure what to expect from any of these 3, except we are going to see them time and time again in the world of motorsport. Whether that's going to be in open wheelers, whether that's going to be in the higher echelons of GT racing or anything. We've seen the big names shown in GB3. And I'm sure those 3 are certainly one of them. Callum Voisin, Alex Dunn, Joseph Loke. Great performance. By the way, the top 2 in the championship are separated by just 18 points. So it really is quite close. JHR Developments also, by the way, win the teams championship. Of course, great performance from Morales. Of course, David Morales, from Alex Dunn, from, of course, Joseph Loke. And, of course, Matthew Reese. He finished in the top 5 of the championship. I think we'll probably head down to Johners, who's obviously right in the middle of all of this.
Yeah, Callum Voisin here with the biggest trophy of the lot. We're just going to watch JHR in the background getting their team's trophy there. But Callum, I know it's all going on right now. You came 4th last year, you come back this year. You didn't win a race until quite late into the season, and it came down to the final race, but you are the GB23. How are you feeling?
Oh, honestly, I can't put it into words. You know, it was a really stressful race. Obviously, loads of safety cars, quite a lot of carnage. But no, I'm so happy to come back and to win, especially after what happened this morning. Not my finest performance, but we came back fighting, and we did exactly what we needed to do. So no, I'm yeah, pretty excited right now.
When you were out there, we were talking before about how you needed to finish 12th, and then it didn't really matter what Alex Dunn did. What was your approach coming into it? Because we saw a lot of action in that race, and there were a lot of perilous things that could have affected your championship.
Yeah, for sure. To be honest, my goal was just to stick behind Alex and just, he could carve the way through and I'd just follow him. So, I did that pretty well, I thought. But, obviously after, the second safety car restart, I got shuffled back a little bit. But it was kind of, judging the moments very carefully, making sure you're not doing any silly mistakes. So, no round the outside moves for me. I was very much on the cutbacks in that race. But, no, I'm over the moon. So we finally got it done. So.
You did indeed. At what point in this season, maybe even this weekend, did you think that, this is going to happen? Or was it not until you crossed the line?
I think yesterday gave me a lot of confidence. I think we definitely could have got another win, this morning. But obviously after the second this morning, and it did close up the table quite a lot. So well, a lot more than I would have wanted for sure. So I always had it in the back of my mind. So I thought, as long as we do a good job in race 3, we should be fine. And that's exactly what we did. So kept out of trouble and did what we needed to do. So yeah.
You've obviously got the prize there, which is an FIA F3 test. You actually were testing an FIA F3 earlier in the week, and you're very, very busy. What is next in the calendar? Have you got a bit of a rest? Can you actually celebrate this, or have you got more driving to do?
Not at all. I've got a flight tonight to Bologna. I've got I'm doing the FIA F3 days at Imola on tomorrow and Tuesday, and then straight back to Silverstone because I've got the Autosport Awards on Wednesday, Thursday. So no rest for me, but as soon as I get back, I'm sure I'll be sleeping for days on end. So.
Excellent stuff. Well, look, it's been great having you for the last couple of years. Assuming you're moving on now and doing different things, and maybe FIA F3 is your destination, it's been great having you here. And I think maybe one last comment on the team and the car they've given you this year.
Oh, no, I love Rodin Carlin. They've picked me up since I was about this tall when I was 15 years old, and it's been one heck of a journey. They've never given up. They've always believed in me, and given me a winning car every time I go out. So no, I can't thank them enough. Trevor Carlin for his belief, and Jimmy, especially my engineer Jimmy. He's amazing, and he always gives me a brilliant car. So no, thank you so much to them, and I just want to touch on Joe and Alex. I think they've been amazing competitors this year. I couldn't really ask for anybody better. I think I've gotten to know them after over the last season or year or so, and I think everybody can appreciate they've got some very bright futures ahead. So no, I want to thank them as well.
Yeah, they push you all the way, and also Trevor told me earlier on that if you won the championship, he'd be getting the beers in. So I think it's going to be an expensive night for Trevor ahead. But once again, congratulations, Callum Voisin, the 2023 GB3 champion.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. We'll let you go celebrate with the rest of your team now. We'll move on. We'll try and find some of the other drivers. Let's go and chat to Joseph Loke, who's just over here with his mum. Now, Joseph, obviously you came into this weekend as a championship contender and things didn't quite go your way, but you really pushed it in that last race. You told us you were going to push it, and you pushed it maybe slightly too far because you had to walk back.
Well, obviously walking back isn't the best way to finish a race. Obviously, the only DNF of the year came in the last race, so it's not ideal. But yeah, obviously we had nothing to gain, nothing to lose from that race, so I just wanted to have a bit of fun really and end out the season, enjoying myself and really giving it a bit of a round off of the year. It wasn't really a good round off, but we actually had quite a good race. We were up into 6th at one point from where we started, which I felt was quite strong. The pace was really good. Just obviously a shame that I didn't get left room on the exit of turn 1. So I probably should have expected it from him, but one of those. And still really happy with how the year's gone, and to finish 3rd in my first year in the championship is quite a statement.
It's really, really impressive, and obviously if you choose to stay on in GB3 next year, I'm sure you'll be absolutely up there in one of the title contenders. Now, last weekend at Zandvoort, we spoke with your mum, but unfortunately, for some reason, I think a van parked in the way of the aerial. We didn't really get a full chat with your mum broadcast. Do you want to bring her in?
Yeah, let's go.
Here you go. I'll give you the mic.
Come on, Mother.
I'll give you the microphone again. Here you go.
Oh, here we go. Hello, Mother. So, how would you round off the season this year?
I would say that I couldn't be more proud of everything you've achieved this year, and I'm going to start crying in a second. I promised Dale, your mechanic, that I wouldn't cry till much later. Anywho, I'm just so proud. What you've achieved this year is just amazing. I'm so glad to have shared every single second with you.
She's crying, there's no point talking to her anymore. But no, it's been lovely to have you here, Mother.
Thank you very much. It's been great to chat to you, and sorry to make you cry on the live stream, but it's going to do great things for the ratings. Thank you very much. Enjoy celebrating there. And also, Joseph, come on, mate. We talked about the bet with Lewis McGlade getting the haircut, and you had to go off the track. You were on for a podium.
Oh yeah, I was. Oh,
he is the happiest man other than Callum Voice in this paddock, I have to say.
Ruined my day, that.
It has ruined your day, but look, next year we'll make some more bets.
Okay.
All right, thanks for doing that. I don't know if Alex Dunn is here. We did see Alex Dunn run away with his team. I think Alex Dunn is probably quite upset because obviously, you know, he was so close to winning the championship there. Trying to see some. No, I don't think he's here. We'll probably, hopefully, get a chat with him that we'll put on social media. Thank you very much for every person that's watched every single races. We have 24 races across this season. We've had some of the best young drivers in the world competing in the GB3 Championship from many different nations, and hello to everyone watching around the world. I know we have people, you know, in South America, in Australia, and throughout North America as well. So thank you very much for sticking with us. Of course, loads more content online on the GB3 website, and you can see all of the photos you've seen all these photographers taking just everywhere on social media, and the drivers will share them as well. A big shout out to everyone behind the scenes at MSV, of course, Richard Randall, Gemma, and the team at the GB3 and the GB4 Championships, everyone at Onside Productions as well, who rarely get a shout out, and cameraman Ben, who has to follow me around as I run after drivers and talk to Joseph Loke and make his mum cry. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you in 2024. Callum Voisin is your 2023 GB3 champion.